Does not bode well. All right, let's begin. So, if you have not taken your vocab test, you are late. You should do that forthwith. I'm going to put them in the vocab test column right during lunch, and you're going to be a very sad boy if you have a 0 there. So, knock it out if you haven't already. Number 2. Today, we have 2 little lessons to learn, and then your assignment. So, it's kind of a busy day. You ready?
Sure.
Art said no with a big face. Okay. It's some notes here with this PowerPoint. It's about purpose clauses.
We already talked about these, Ms. Lonergan.
I know. I'm so glad to hear that you remember that. So we're adding a little bit to our knowledge about purpose clauses. If you remember, we'll start with what we already know about purpose clauses, and that is that they start with ut or ne, which is in order that or in order that not. And yes, I see very smart people like Malik and Landon are writing this down, and they're doing that because they know that they can then use that on the test, and it will be accessible for them and, handy dandy, as one likes to say. So I find that to be very smart, wise, intelligent, keen behavior, and would advise you to follow suit. It's not a ton of notes. You can see the slides over on the left. They're pretty empty. So we're learning about other purpose clauses, but we'll review these first. So so far you know that purpose clauses are introduced with ut or ne. Verbs in the purpose clause are in the subjunctive. So in this example, we have ab aratro abduxerunt concinatum ut dictator esset. They brought Cincinnatus from the plow that he might be a dictator. All right. So today we're going to learn about purpose clauses that start with relative pronouns or relative adverbs. They're called relative.
Miss Lonergan,
Yeah.
Could you go back for a second?
Yeah, Andrew, if you're copying out that whole example, you really don't need to do that.
No, I didn't get the other part.
All right, let's just move along, okay? You can go back in the video if you need to. So relative purpose clauses are introduced with a relative pronoun.
Miss Lonergan?
Yes?
Which set are the relative pronouns in Latin? Is it all the ones that start with H or the illy, elude, whatever?
They're the qui, qui, quodes.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have the chart in this PowerPoint presentation for you to remind you.
Cool.
So ne'er you worry. All right, so like qui, for example. And then here, just like Art was asking, are your relative pronouns from your Latin 2 charts quizzes. So qui, qui, quod, cuius, 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 cui, 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 quem, quam, quod, quo, qua, quo, qui, 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 quorum, 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 quibus, 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 quos, quas, qui, quibus, quibus, quibus. I'm sure they ring a bell somewhere deep in your Latin brain. So if I am saying the boy who is tall climbs the tree, the boy is the subject, so which relative pronoun would I be using?
Qui.
Qui. If I'm saying the boy who is tall climbs the tree, which is tall? What a sentence. Which is, just is a pronoun replacing tree, which is the direct object. So which relative pronoun would you use there? noting that arbor, arboris is feminine.
Quam.
Exactly right. Quam, yeah. All right, any questions about how to use these charts? All right, so you'll have access to this PowerPoint for, your uses. So this chart will be easily accessible to you. This chart is also in the back of your book, in the land of the charts. And I don't know what page number, but in the 5th edition, I believe it's something like 299. And in the 4th edition, I think it's something like 260. And I am pulling those numbers like out of thin air, so I'm sure they're wrong. But or 199 in the 5th edition and 260 in the 4th edition. It's something, but they're back there in the land of the charts. So you have them with you all the time. You can sleep with them under your pillow and hope that by osmosis they return to your brain if you would like. Relative purpose clauses can also be, twist, introduced with a relative adverb. And relative adverbs do not come in large charts. They are just ubi, unde, quo, and qua. There are others, but they are rarer, and so you can stick with these 4 for now. And you can stick with these for most of your life, really. What does ubi mean?
Where, isn't it?
Or
When?
When?
And what does unde mean?
Under?
Looks like under, but I don't think that's what it is.
What does de mean?
From?
Oh,
From, so it means from where, and then quo and qua mean,
Which?
yeah, from which and from which still, somewhere. All right. Oh, my slides got out of order. Let me fix them. Nobody write anything for a second. Boop, boop. No, they're in order. Huh. Don't freak yourself out like that, Miss Lonergan. All right. The antecedent of the relative pronoun or adverb is expressed or implied in the main clause. Quick grammar review. What is an antecedent?
what the clause is about.
No.
Huh? Worth a try.
It's what the pronoun, like the original or noun is, right?
Yes. So what is an antecedent? What Will just said. It's the word a pronoun or adverb or adjective refers or replaces or refers to.
Wait. Ugh.
And then we have here
What I
two.
meant.
That's what you meant. My apologies, Art.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And then here we just have 2 examples of whatchamacallit. We just have 2 examples of sentences with relative pronouns, and we're going to identify the antecedent. So, scribebat orationes quas alii dicerent. So, quas is our what?
The relative adverb.
Relative adverb.
And in this case, it's a relative pronoun.
I guess right.
And what is the antecedent?
He wrote speeches for speeches?
That is quite right, Art.
Yeah.
A living genius among us. So quas, because the most literal translation of the sentence would be he wrote speeches which other men might deliver, right? So which is talking about speeches. Very good. All right, our next example is habebam quo fugarem. So I had which I might flee. is the most perfect translation. And then the nice translation is, I had a retreat, understood, whither I might flee. So quo is our relative adverb, meaning to which. And what is the antecedent?
A retreat.
A retreat. What is the problem with the antecedent in the actual Latin?
It is not there.
It is not there. So sometimes an antecedent is understood from a previous sentence, which was the case in this writing. So he had referred to the retreat earlier in a previous sentence, and you just had to like keep up, you know, as the reader. Note that the verb in the purpose clause is still in the subjunctive, which is why we're learning about it now in this time in our life, just as it was in the ut and ne purpose clauses. And going back to this slide, it's the same a slide that we had before, but here I have also highlighted the verbs so that you can recognize that they are in what mood?
The subjunctive.
That is correct. All right, is this easy?
Yeah.
Good. Again, you will have access to that PowerPoint in the future, should you need it. But you need your notes for your test, so I'm not going to provide access to the PowerPoint until the test has come. Your next thing we're going to learn today is about compound words. Do you remember compound words from the 4th grade?
Yep.
Wasn't that a good time? Book,
Uh,
shelf, back,
Travis.
back. Do you remember those days when you learned about them?
The travesty.
It was a travesty.
Yes.
I thought it was a real mind-blowing time. You could
This is a travesty in English, more or less Latin.
smush
Latin
the words
is
together and have a whole new word. You guys, I think that we might just be like, you know, fundamentally different people. And that might be the problem all along, was that I like languages and that you're being forced to take one. Is that what the problem is?
Ms. Lonergan, I think it's more we just don't have the brain power this early in the morning to learn these things.
Okay, but we used to be doing this at like 7:40 in the morning, and now it's 9:20.
And we didn't learn them then either.
Wow. That's not true. You guys are my most brilliant Latin 3 class I've ever had in my life. Okay, so if you flip into your textbook to page, I wrote it down, page 157. I'm on my way there. 153, 155, 157. Here you go. Compound verbs. So this is easy too. Got lots of easy stuff today. Study the form and meaning of the following adjectives and nouns. So you've got correre, which means, I'll help you, to run. You've got iacere, which means
To throw.
When you add de in front of it, which means down or from, you suddenly have de correre, which means to run
Down.
And if you have de iacere, or spelling change makes it de iacere, Then you have to throw,
Down.
down. If you take ex, which means out, then you can have ex correre, which means to run,
Out.
and you can have eiccere, again, a little spelling change, it doesn't have the x, which means to throw
Out.
out. If you have re correre, that means to run,
Back.
and if you have reiccere, it means to throw.
Back.
Why am I still doing the running thing? No, to throw back. Good. Okay, so verbs may have their meanings extended by placing de, ex, or re at the beginning of the word. Such verbs are known as compound verbs. So if you have a verb like trahere, you can do the same thing with it. De trahere would then mean to drag.
Down.
Extrahere would then mean to drag.
Out.
And retrahere would then mean to
Out. Right.
drag.
Back.
Back. Thank you so much. Same thing with cadere, which means to fall. Decidere means to fall.
Land.
Excidere means to fall
Out.
out. And recidere means to fall
Back.
back. Mitere, to send. Demitere means to send.
Down.
Down. Wow, if Art wasn't carrying this team and Ryan occasionally helping him, I don't know where we would be. Emittere means to,
Send. Out.
yeah, is anyone gonna like back them up on this, or are you guys just really hard relaxing right now?
I
And-
You
can
trust Art, man.
Remittere means,
To send back.
Back.
thank you, Christopher. Dear
Down.
heavens alive.
See, I'm helpful, Miss Lonergan.
Complete the following sentences with the correct compound verb, then translate the sentences. So you've got other ones they've given here. What does ponere mean by itself before you make it into a compound verb?
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Put.
Let's
Yes,
look
to
at
put or place. What does duco ducere mean?
it.
To
To
lead.
lead.
Yes, and venio venire?
To calm.
Right, to arrive. So why don't you complete the following sentences with the correct compound verb and then translate the sentences. And I'm tempted, because nobody was helping me and Art, to make you all do these by yourself.
No.
find the page.
I think I might. I think I might have you do that.
Not in fourth edition.
Collect them as a quiz grade. How wild would that be of me?
Fourth edition doesn't have it.
It's right on your screen.
Oh boy. What up, Mark?
Oh, it's on page 179. Okay, that makes sense.
Wow, some people didn't even have the book.
Oh, Mom.
The pain in my heart. So profound. Wow, compound word right there. Pro found. No, it's not. I mean, it just means deep. Trying to find something where there is nothing. Look what you've turned me into.
You could say heartbreak, man. That's a compound word.
Oh,
There we go. Thank
I
you.
got you.
Thank you. Delivering even in the darkest of times.
That's what I do, Miss Lonergan.
What? Hmm.
All right. For a 100 quiz grade to replace your lowest quiz grade, who wants to do number 1? You can't even be bribed? This is incredible.
Wow.
Don't say I never offered you anything. This is a real low point for you all. You usually are very easily bribed.
I can
I feel
try.
like-
I don't
I
think
feel
I.
like bribes only work with people who have the mental processing ability to process the fact that they're being bribed.
Wayne, take it away.
I see Salvia sitting near the. What's that word? Bow, I think. I'm not sure.
Dwayne, I love the journey that you're on, but it's not the journey the rest of us are on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We're on a different exercise / page /
So what?
Look fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. Literally.
Dwayne, my love for you, I did not think it could grow, but it has, in fact, grown.
Well,
All right, anybody else? 100 quiz grades still on the table.
We're
Um,
on the in stage 26 thing, right?
You guys, it's literally on your screen. Like you can't go wrong, you know?
you can see it.
Well, there's 2.
Brian, it's the one that says compound verbs above it.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see. Next page.
All right, you know what? I'll take the first one. So Fabri postquam domum blank diu dormiverunt. So the craftsmen, after they blank home, slept for a long time. What do you think it is? After they put down home? After they led out or were leading out home? Or after they led back home?
Led back.
Or
Led
arrived
back.
back home. Sorry.
The
Woohoo!
third one.
I think it's the third one. I think you're right. So after they arrived back home, revenerunt. All right, legatus hostibus imperavit ut arma blank. The legate ordered the enemy.
I can do that one.
Okay, go ahead.
The commander ordered the enemy to put down the arms.
Very good. So which verb is that?
Deponerant.
Very nice. All right, the last one. Milites e castris, the soldiers from the camps, blank, ut rupem massadam opugnaret. No one's going to grab this quiz grade that's laying on the floor.
All right, I'll try Masada again. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Milites e castris revenerunt ut rupem Massadam apugnaret. The soldier returned to the camp so that he might fight Masada.
We used that one already for the first one.
I didn't say it was off limits to use it again.
Well, let me say that now. There are 3 questions and 3 answers, and they are, once they are used, off the table.
Where does it say that?
I said
Oh
let.
my gosh, bro.
All right, so the only answer left for a 100 quiz grade is
No one's gonna take.
Deponer.
Educabantur.
Educabantur. Yes, educabantur. Wow. I truly thank you, Malik. Okay.
Mm.
I wanna say thank you to my mom, who always wanted me to be a teacher. Even when I did not, for leading me down this path. Okay, deponere. So down here, explain the connection between the following Latin verbs and English verbs derived from them. So last exercise of this little activity, I know you guys can do this, you're just not doing it. Okay, I need you to come together for this last activity to prove to me that you can do this, okay? I'm unmuting you all, so if something embarrassing is happening in your house, tell them to stop. You ready? It's happening. Participants, unmute all. Yeah.
Unmuted.
The hell?
You chose this from Sonic. You chose this.
That was me. Who was it? They figured it out for themselves. Sorry, whoever that was. You can stay muted. Okay. Deponere to depose. What is the connection? Why is it? How does depose come from deponere?
The root thingy, like the depot.
Because what does depose mean?
To let go.
Yeah.
Use it in a sentence.
I couldn't.
It's like it's almost, is it like the same as like deposition or whatever?
Yeah, they do come from the same root. If you depose a king, what does that mean? Or depose a dictator?
You take his
Take him out of
throne.
power.
Yes. So then, does that make sense that it comes from deponere? Because what does deponere mean?
Take out.
It means to put down, right? All right. Irrumpere comes from ep, which means out, and rump, which means to break, so to break out. And what does erupt mean?
Like blow up.
Yeah. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Retinere and retain. Teneo tenere means to hold, and re means what? Back. So to hold back. And what does retain mean?
Like remember.
Mm-hmm. So does that make sense?
Of course.
Okay. All right. A speakere. Day means what?
Can you be quiet, please? Sorry.
All right, Aaron. Day means what, Aaron? While you're talking.
Day,
Day.
like the day in English.
Day. The prefix from the very top of the page. See?
Oh.
Can you see it up there?
Down.
Good. And what is like spicio, spicere, spexy? What do all those words mean? Conspicio, aspicio. They all mean what?
To catch sight of.
Yes.
To
So
screen.
what does this mean? To look
Down.
down on. So despise. What does despise mean?
You know, like
You don't like somebody.
Not like. So do those
Looking
make
down on
sense?
them.
Can you see the
indubitably.
Okay. Yikere means X, out of, and yakio, yakere, to throw. So does to throw out, does eject make sense?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. We're almost there. Referre, re means what, Landon?
What is it? Oh.
Back.
Good. Re means back. And ferro ferre means what? Charlie?
Hold or
Ferre.
carry, right?
Good. Yep. To carry. So to carry back. So does refer make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Guys?
That was amazing.
we made it. That might have been the most painful thing we've ever done, but we did it together. And that's all that matters. Okay, so compound verbs. So now you just quadrupled the number of verbs you know, because you can add 4 prefixes to every verb, and boom, 4 more verbs.
Crazy.
Hot dog. All right, you ready for the last thing of the day?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it comes with a problem, because doesn't everything. If you open up your workbook to page 63 and 64, am I screaming? Is it really loud? Sorry, I'll mute you back up so you can, maybe I'm trying to scream. There we go. Okay, so 63 and 64 in your workbook. So the 5th edition doesn't have this section, the origins of Rome. Only the 4th edition does. But every edition has the other 2 sections, the Roman Forum and Roman Judea. So everybody should be able to do the second 2 sections on their own, which is good. But everybody is going to need the help of a 4th editioner to answer the origins of Rome questions. So those questions are, number 1, how did the Romans explain the name of their city? What is the traditional date for the founding of Rome? What confirmation have archaeologists found for this tradition? Who inhabited the surrounding area in the 8th century BC? What were 3 advantages the city site had? How did the site change from the 6th century onwards? How many kings did Rome have, and who was the last king? What happened to him? What changes in the government of Rome took place in 509 BC? And how did the government change again in the course of Augustus's life? Now, I do have the faith in you that most of these questions you can answer without a book, because we've gone over this so many times in your Latin career. But on the off chance that you can't, I was hoping that somebody who has good audio, because I know like Malik has a 4th edition, but I don't think he can talk. Leon has a 4th edition. I don't think he can talk either. So somebody with a 4th edition who has good audio, are you here? And could you read us the Origins of Rome section so that people can jot down those answers real quick? And then later they can write them out on a separate sheet of paper to be able to actually drop them. Is there a volunteer who would fall on this sword for us today?
I'll do it.
Thank you so much. You are
What stage?
an Olympian amongst men.
Great.
What stage is this?
This is stage 29. So if everybody wants to make sure they're on page 63 in the workbook, because if you have a 5th edition, you won't be able to answer those first questions without this information from Art. I mean, the internet.
No one knows.
This is easiest. Okay, sorry, Art, take it away.
No one knows the source or meaning of the name Rome. However, the Romans themselves claimed that the name of their city came from that of its mythical founder, Romulus, who, according to tradition, drew the sacred city boundary line on the Palatine Hill with his plow in 753 BC. The discovery of archaic huts confirms the presence of an 8th century settlement on the Palatine. This settlement, like the rest of the district of Latium at this time, was inhabited by the Latini, who were shepherds and farmers. The geographical position of the Palatine settlement was ideal. It was bounded on the western side by a bend of the river Tiber, where the river encircling the Tiber Island was narrow enough to be bridged. There was a ford nearby where sea, river, and land travel and trade converged from Etruria in the north, from Magna Graeca in the south, and from the Tyrian Sea in the west towards the mountains along the Great Salt Way, the Via Salaria, and there were 7 hills in the area providing strategic defense positions for an expanding population. From the 6th century onward, a continuous process of expansion transformed the agricultural settlements into one urbe extending over all 7 hills. The marshy valley lands were drained by canals, including the great sewer, Cloaca Maxima, into which all the water flowed. There was constant building activity, and the city was crowded with temples, public squares, baths, and basilicas. Even as the city expanded, its form of government also changed. According to legend, Romulus had been followed by 6 other kings. The last of them, Tarquinius Superbus, was driven out and the Roman Republic was established in 509 BC. The kings were replaced by annually elected magistrates. The most senior of these were 2 consuls who presided over the Senate. During the time of Augustus, the Roman Republic in effect became an empire with an emperor at its head.
Thank you so much, Art. You are wonderful. So what I am going to do right after this class is put this video up to YouTube. So I'm sure you didn't have time to write all that down, but you'll be able to, pause it as needed to write down, whatever you need on your separate sheet of paper to get those questions down. There will be a Dropbox and Blackboard for the assignment for all 3 sections, the origins of Rome, the Roman Forum, and Roman Judea, and that is due before class starts on Monday. I'm like, what day? What day is it? What day will it be? On Monday. We are sort of approaching a test. We've got 2 more translations, which probably will only take us like a class or 2. So expect a test link. I'll probably be giving you another test link on Wednesday, to take before 4 p.m. on Friday or something like that. So test time is coming. Again, if you did not take your vocab test, make sure that you accomplish that quickly. Are there any questions about any of these things? The last assignment, this assignment, anything that we went over in class today?
Can you put the workbook page on Blackboard?
A PDF of it?
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a kind person that could just shoot you a text picture of it real quick, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be helpful for me. I have a lot going on today. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
You have to do just that first section or all 3 sections?
All 3. But that first section, I think, is different in the 5th edition, so I just wanted us to get it together. Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and let this video upload and I will get it on YouTube ASAP so that you can listen to Art's lovely voice as many times as you need to. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.